In the last video, I built my first OPNsense firewall. But now I had a bigger question. Can I actually block ads on my entire network just using the OPNsense firewall? Not just on one browser, not through an extension, but for every single device within my home network. Now, I know I can't be the only one that gets tired of seeing all these ads all over web pages and everything, and I know you can use plugins and extensions, but I wanted to try something a little different. My original plan was to install AdGuard, but that didn't go exactly as planned. I thought it would be a lot simpler to do, and I wanted something that was a little bit more straightforward. Now, that's not saying that I won't be working with that tool in the future, but I wanted to give this a try. To get started, I connected to the OPNsense portal, and what I did from here was look for a firmware update, only because I wasn't able to find the plugin that I guess was referenced in documentation online. So what I did was search for updates, check for updates. So I ran an update on the OPNsense firewall, and it did take some time because it did fail, and I had to just troubleshoot that. It kind of went through this whole thing of updates, and it updated a number of things. So no plugins, no updates, no packages, none of that worked. I wasn't able to find anything related to AdGuard. So what I did, I went ahead and searched for an alternative. What I did find was the DNSBL, which is the DNS block list, and I found a few that I could try. There were two types, and that was the AdGuard list and the EasyList. Now there are a number of them, are different ones that you can try, but I just wanted to keep it nice and simple here. These are ones that I found to be working, at least for the video or in this use case, right? After we add both of the lists, we want to make sure to add a description. Nothing too crazy. I added ad block, and from there I click the apply button to make sure it's saved. And once we have that saved, what we want to do is launch the command prompt. I just wanted to make sure and see what our current network configuration details are, the DNS address. So I did make a mistake, and if you're anything like me, you'll make a bunch of mistakes. So as you can see here, I have the DNS server set to 8.8.8.8, and that's probably way too many 8s there, but this is the Google DNS server, and we want to make sure that we change that. Why? Well, we want to make sure it's within or set to the IP address that we have for our OPNsense firewall, because then any of the changes that we made on our firewall won't have any effect through DNS, right? Just like I mentioned, let's make sure to update that preferred DNS server. You don't have to add anything to the alternate DNS server. You can go ahead and save that, close that out, close out all these windows. And what we'll do, just to make sure that it's set, we'll run that ipconfig/all. And just to kind of give you a little bit more information about what these lists do, they kind of include thousands of advertising and trackers that can be blocked across your network or within that IP addressing, right? So as you can see here, there's a bunch of articles. I went to msn.com just because there are always ads or banner ads that do show, just like I showed you in the beginning of the video. There are no ads after enabling those two lists. And just to confirm this worked, I went ahead and reverted back to the Google DNS preferred address, only because I wanted to show you guys how this actually works and the difference that you see on the msn.com website. So here you can see the non-authoritative answer, which is returning an IP address from tracking domains or what presents ads to you. So here you see a banner ad. After confirming this, what we want to do is revert back to our OPNsense internal IP address for our DNS or preferred DNS server. And once you close that out, you can go ahead and test. Now, I am impatient, and I went ahead and checked multiple times using this command, which is the nslookup doubleclick.net. And I used the internal address just to make sure to see if it's returning an address, and it did. So what that means is if it is returning an address, then it's still not filtering any of the tracking or advertising sites that it needs to. Honestly, the best thing to do is just give it some time, be patient, unlike me. And once you are patient, you should get that 0.0.0.0. And that means that the filtering process is working. And from what you saw there, the banners are gone. And what I did next was go into the services and the unbound DNS log files. And from here, I was able to see what's being blocked out. And from these logs, you can tell that it is working and the process is going as expected. So can OPNsense block ads on your network? Yes, but there's way more to it than just adding a block list to your firewall. Your devices actually have to use the firewall for DNS, and kind of just understanding that difference has taught me a lot about DNS. So in the next part of the series, I'm going to start segmenting my network through VLANs and continue building out the firewall just so I can go on and getting that AdGuard set up somehow. So if you are enjoying this, just make sure to keep watching, subscribe, give it a like, comment. If you have or you run into any issues, just feel free to comment that down below and I might be able to help you. Until next time.